Stop everything you're doing right now. What I'm about to reveal about the next 10 days will absolutely shock you and could cost businesses thousands in lost revenue and property damage. We're tracking two massive storm systems that are about to create unprecedented disruptions to operations, supply chains, and customer access across North America. Before we dive in, drop your business location and industry in the comments right now. Retail, manufacturing, healthcare? I personally respond with business-specific timing and impact analysis for your operation. Top 3 locations get detailed segments tomorrow. Drop your location now. Here's what's happening right now. Look at our 500 millibar height anomalies. High pressure in red and pink, low pressure in blue and green. We have high pressure over Greenland and low pressure retreating into northern Canada. That was our cold air source for the Northeast recently. High pressure across the central and eastern U.S. is giving us sunshine and milder temperatures. Then low pressure, with very cold air in Alaska, western Canada, and offshore of the west coast. This pattern is about to undergo a dramatic shift. As we roll through the week, that ridge continues dominating the east. However, on the northern side, there's a weakness developing. Short waves, troughs starting to move through. The first one arrives Tuesday and Wednesday morning. Then a stronger system ejects from our trough in the desert southwest, tracking toward the Great Lakes late this week into the weekend. That's a major winter storm developing Friday, January 9th through Sunday, January 11th. Now here's the immediate operational threat. Look at these snow showers in blue over the northeast and out west in higher elevations. The green is rainfall. Yellow specks show moderate rainfall pockets in Northern California. Rolling through tonight, more action builds across Wisconsin into Michigan. See this purple? That's where sleet and freezing drizzle is likely after midnight into Tuesday morning daybreak. This creates hazardous travel conditions across Wisconsin, especially northern Wisconsin toward Rhinelander, La Crosse, and Green Bay, then toward Traverse City and northern lower Michigan. For retail and customer-facing businesses in these zones, make your Tuesday closure decisions tonight. Communicate with staff now, not 5 a.m. when they're already driving. The liability of customers or employees injured on icy premises far exceeds one day's revenue. Further south, air temperatures are warm enough for rain to remain liquid. Chicagoland, Fort Wayne, Grand Rapids areas. Office operations can likely implement remote work Tuesday without facility closures. As this pushes through Tuesday afternoon across the Great Lakes, Toronto sees a wintry mix. Rain, sleet, freezing drizzle, then turning to snow. This is wintry mix to snow for New England. Closer to the coast. Too warm for all snow. More rain across the I-95 corridor Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Turning back west, the Pacific Northwest, Cascades, and Northern Rockies in Idaho, western Montana, and Wyoming will see snow prospects starting Wednesday, continuing into Wednesday evening. Let's examine total precipitation from now through Wednesday evening, January 7th. Heaviest rainfall favors the Pacific Northwest. Seattle, Portland, Eugene, Medford, Oregon, northwestern California. A few inches of rain possible, 1 to 3 inches on average. For construction companies and contractors in these areas, this is your 24-hour warning to secure job sites. Heavy rain means mudslides, flooding, equipment damage, and liability issues. Once that moisture moves inland, it becomes higher elevation snow across the Cascades of Washington and Oregon up into British Columbia. Then the Rockies, Canadian Rockies, down into U.S. Rockies of Idaho, western Montana, Wyoming, and traditional snow areas in Utah and Colorado. More New England snowstorm activity into upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine through Wednesday evening. Snowfall forecast shows a few feet expected in the Cascades. Also watching northern Sierras and Rockies portions, including Canadian Rockies into British Columbia and Alberta. Central U.S. sees minimal snowfall through Wednesday evening. Eastern areas looking at 1 to 3 inches with higher amounts possible. Greater than 3 inches in upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, western Maine. Some favoring Quebec and Ontario. Montreal could see several inches through Wednesday evening. Distribution centers and logistics operations need to adjust Wednesday delivery expectations for these regions. Contact customers now about potential delays. ICY concerns with sleet and freezing drizzle across upper Midwest, especially Wisconsin, lower Michigan, parts of New England, north and west of I-95. We could see light ice glaze, not an all-out ice storm, but enough for hazardous travel affecting commercial vehicle operations and employee commutes. Wind gust potential through Wednesday evening shows highest gusts in northern Rockies, Montana, Wyoming, northern Colorado, Canadian Rockies of Alberta, and British Columbia. Potentially over 80 miles per hour in higher elevations. Eastern U.S. may be breezy in central Appalachians through western Maryland into West Virginia Panhandle, gustier winds in New Jersey. For businesses with outdoor signage, equipment, or structures in high wind zones, secure everything today. Insurance claims for wind damage could impact premiums and deductibles. Back to our 500 millibar height anomaly. High pressure in orange, red, pink, lower pressure blue and green. Through the week, that ridge remains off to the east. Bigger storm system emanates from southwest trough, tracking toward Great Lakes. Temperature analysis shows coldest air associated with that parent trough in Alaska and western Canada. Also, trough weakening in eastern Canada, especially toward Nova Scotia. Ridge of high pressure with quieter weather and sunshine warms up the middle of the country. This happened this afternoon, continues this evening and throughout the week. Even warmer in the east. Areas like Ontario and Quebec could be 55 degrees above normal, melting snowpack in southeastern Canada later this week. Wind chills get very cold, bitterly and dangerously cold in Alaska and northern Canada. Potentially 80 below zero wind chills in northern Alaska. Later in the week, maybe 90 below in Greenland. Now let's track the major winter storm. Low pressure develops Thursday morning, January 8th in Texas or Oklahoma Panhandle. This moves north and east through Chicagoland and southern lower Michigan by Thursday night. Critical development, a secondary low develops in central Oklahoma. This needs close monitoring. It tags along right on the first system's heels, deepening across Great Lakes and southeastern Canada entering Quebec. By Sunday morning daybreak, January 11th, this becomes a 987 millibar low, a strong system. We must watch the warm side. Storm Prediction Center is already 5 days in advance, highlighting a yellow area showing 15% slight risk of severe weather. This affects western Kentucky, western Tennessee, northwest Alabama, much of Mississippi, Missouri Boot Heel, eastern Arkansas, northeastern Louisiana, southern Illinois. Areas like Bowling Green, Paducah, Jackson, Clarksville, Memphis, Tupelo, Jackson, Mississippi, Monroe, Louisiana, Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Severe weather threat. All modes possible Friday afternoon and evening, January 9th. Look at the setup. Dew points out ahead of that second low pressure developing and tracking toward Great Lakes. South of the warm front draped north in Indiana and Ohio. Cold front and occluded front attached. Dew points mid to upper 60 seconds. High for early January. Instability approaching 1,000 joules per kilogram. For early January, this is elevated. Left exit region of 500 millibar jet stream moving across that region. Low-level winds cranking up Friday evening, getting near 60 knots, especially in Alabama and Mississippi. For businesses in these severe weather zones, Friday operations require difficult decisions. Now, not Friday morning. Retail stores full of customers during tornado warnings create liability nightmares. Restaurants serving during severe weather put staff and patrons at risk. Make closure decisions with safety and liability as priorities. Close tabs on potential tornadoes. Friday morning 7 a.m., people heading to work and school. Monitor weather for the return commute. Severe thunderstorms may roam the landscape in Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. These could produce winds over 60 miles per hour, quarter-size or larger hail, and tornadoes moving west to east Friday into Saturday morning. Could approach Atlanta Metro, Montgomery, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Mobile, Alabama by Saturday daybreak. Manufacturing facilities need to establish shutdown protocols. Can you safely halt production quickly during tornado warnings? Some processes can't stop immediately. What's your minimum safe shutdown time? Warm side sees heavy rainfall. Repeated rounds of showers and thunderstorms could produce 2 to 4 inches on average from Smoky Mountains and Cumberland Plateau in eastern Tennessee through Dixie Alley, North Georgia, portions of Alabama, Mississippi, into Louisiana bayou areas. For warehouses and distribution centers in flood-prone areas, move ground floor inventory to higher locations today. Water damage to inventory equals direct revenue loss and potential insurance complications. Cold side shows potential snowstorm with accumulation across Midwest into Great Lakes region, southeastern Canada, and New England parts. Upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, northern Maine through the weekend. This mainly affects areas Friday, January 9th through Sunday, January 11th. National blend of models combines all models showing Wisconsin, southern Minnesota, Iowa, eventually Michigan with heaviest snowfall in Midwest. New England, upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Canada, Quebec, and Ontario need watching into the weekend. Retail operations in snow zones should adjust staffing expectations. Customer traffic drops significantly during heavy snow. Full staffing during blizzards wastes payroll and risks employee safety unnecessarily. After that storm passes, colder air currently over Russia and Scandinavia. Watch the polar vortex return to North American continent around January 20th after Martin Luther King Day. Cold air source comes back toward Hudson Bay, Canada, providing colder air. Third week still shows lingering mild air, but cold shots coming intermittently into the United States. Last week of January shows cold look for Western Canada, Pacific Northwest, and northern U.S. generally. Cold air shots making their way into lower 48 for end of January. Snowstorm forecast shows continued Colorado, Texas, and Oklahoma Panhandle low-pressure systems developing, moving northeast toward Great Lakes. Northwest side, cold air source is polar vortex. Moisture source is Gulf. These meet in Midwest for potentially more snowstorms third week of January, 13th through 20th, including Martin Luther King Day. Last days of January, 23rd through 31st, snowstorm track favors mountains out west, Cascades, Sierra Nevadas, California, Rockies, especially northern Rockies, further downstream into New England. Overall, through rest of January, snowiest regions will be mountains out west, British Columbia, Canada, upper Midwest, Great Lakes, and New England. Southeastern Canada. Further south still has snow chances, albeit lower. Climatology shows further south means warmer temperatures and less snow chance, especially Gulf Coast areas. For businesses planning end of January operations, this active pattern means flexibility is essential. Supply chains will experience repeated disruptions. Just-in-time inventory systems face particular vulnerability. Consider building buffer stock where possible. 3 most important business takeaways. First, 2 distinct storm systems, Tuesday, Wednesday affecting upper Midwest and New England operations. Then, major Friday through Sunday system affecting most operations with multiple hazards simultaneously. Second, Friday through Sunday is a multi-hazard event, creating different operational challenges across regions. Severe weather and flooding in south, heavy snow in north, all simultaneous. This tests business continuity planning comprehensively. Third, pattern shift brings colder air for rest of January. This isn't one and done. We're entering active winter weather pattern affecting operations, supply chains, and customer access repeatedly through month's end. Drop your business location and industry now. Manufacturing, retail, healthcare, construction. I'll provide specific operational timing for your business. When does each phase hit your operations? What should your business prioritize? I respond to every comment. Top 3 locations get detailed business impact segments tomorrow with operational timing and industry-specific guidance. Share this with business associates and partners. If this forecast helps your operational planning, smash that like button. Subscribe for daily updates, critical for business continuity during multi-day events. Hit notification bell for real-time updates as timing details refine. Tomorrow's video covers latest model runs, refined precipitation forecasts, updated severe weather outlooks, and additional business-specific guidance. Your operations cannot afford to miss these updates. Protect your operations, prepare your team, plan for disruptions. See you tomorrow. Drop your business location now. Let me help you minimize operational and financial impacts.